Welcome to the Ask the Geographer podcast series, brought to you by the Education Department at the Royal Geographical Society with IBG. I'm Rachel, your host, and in each episode I'll be joined by geographers from across the globe to delve into current events, publications and research, all tied to the fascinating world of geography. Have you ever seen inside a rock and noticed any amazing structures there? Or do you have a gemstone at home and wondered how it was made? Earth sciences can help us unlock these secrets, more specifically geology, which is the study of the evolution of the Earth, and mineralogy, the study of minerals which are held within the Earth. They are essential in helping us see what the past might have been like way before humans were present. They also hold the keys to help us unlock possible futures which may lay ahead for the planet. I'm delighted to be joined today by Nadine Gabriel, who, after studying geography at school, was inspired to follow a path into geology where she uses her knowledge to support a multitude of people, ranging from researchers to the public, in understanding the Earth at the Natural History Museum in London. Nadine, welcome to Ask the Geographer podcast. Could you explain what you do at the Natural History Museum and what your role entails?
Hello everyone, I'm Nadine Gabriel and I'm the Mineralogy Curator at the Natural History Museum in London. So my role is very varied, no 2 days are the same really, and that's something I really enjoy about my job. So as a curator, the main thing I do is look after the mineral collections at the museum. So sometimes that involves data management, making sure everything's on our collections database system, also reorganizing collections, labeling them, rehousing them as well to make sure that they're stored safely to prevent damage. Sometimes I also have to identify specimens too. I help out with exhibitions as well. So, for example, working with our exhibitions team to select specimens which will best tell the story they want to tell. I also deal a lot with loans as well. So these are usually research loans where scientists come to us to request specimens, and then I have to search through the collections, select a specimen which best suits their needs, and then arrange all the loan documentation and send that out to them. I also do quite a bit of outreach too, so sometimes that's tours, doing talks, presenting at conferences, and also doing things like this podcast here too.
Amazing, so many different skills there, fantastic. So, although you specialised in geology and further education, it was actually geography which got you interested in rocks to start with. Can you talk a little bit more how this got started when you were at school?
So, originally, I actually wanted to be a lawyer, but when I studied A-level geography at school, I had quite a lot of modules about earth sciences, so things like volcanoes, earthquakes, weather systems as well. So at school, I was always interested in science, and then studying A-level geography really helped that love to grow. And one of the things that I really love about geology and geography as well is that it combines different aspects of science. So you've got physics, chemistry, and biology in there, and it also combines it with the human aspect too. So while I was studying A-level geography, I decided that I actually wanted to do geology at university instead. And back then at the time, I also watched lots of documentaries on TV. So, for example, back then, Ian Stewart, a geologist and professor, he had quite a lot of documentaries about geology and volcanoes and earthquakes. So that really caused my interest to grow. And yeah, that's when I decided to change career paths.
Wonderful. It's so great to hear that geography very much played a vital role in your decision making. And you're absolutely right. The human element of the subject really helps bring to life what you're looking at in the field, isn't it? So you've mentioned that you do so many different things and no day's the same at the Natural History Museum already. What for you are the highlights of working there?
I think the main thing that I really love about the museum is that there's such a huge wealth of information within the collections, and also the knowledge that different staff members have as well. And I really like that there are so many different things going on at the museum. So we've got lots of research going on, outreach, education. It's just really overwhelming and fascinating. And also, I think another highlight for me is getting this mineralogy job as well. So back in 2013, just before I started university, my mum and I went around visiting various different geology collections. And that was when I visited the Natural History Museum for the first time. And as we were walking through the mineral gallery, I thought to myself, wow, this is a really amazing place. How do I get a job here? And it was at that point when I realized I wanted to work in museums as well. So I managed to start as a volunteer at the Natural History Museum about 6 years ago. And then from there, I had lots of different short term contracts. And then eventually, this role came up, and I knew I just had to apply for it. And thankfully, I got it.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So, thinking specifically about minerals, how do you think they've helped us understand our past, but actually, probably more importantly, maybe our future?
So, quite a lot of minerals can record various different chemical signatures, which we can use to unlock various secrets of the past. So, there's this mineral called zircon, and it's used a lot in radiometric dating. So, zircon is very resistant mineral. It doesn't erode much. Sometimes it's the only thing that will survive in sediments after billions of years. So, scientists can use something called uranium lead dating, where they look at the ratio of uranium to lead. And that ratio can tell you how old a rock the zircon is. So, for example, there's something called the Jack Hills zircon in Western Australia. And through the use of uranium lead dating, we found that that's about 4.3 billion years old. And also, another way minerals can reveal the past is through fossilization as well. That helps with tissue preservation as well. And you can look at that to reconstruct an animal.
Wow, I didn't actually know that about the tissue reconstruction. So, that really helps being able to actually build back the animal that would have been preserved.
Yeah, so in the mineral gallery, we actually do have a few fossil specimens here and there. We've got quite a lot of fossilized wood, which is where the tree's trunk has been replaced with silica. And we also have a few ammonites on display as well. I think one of my favorites is something called a snake stone. If you're ever in the mineral gallery, it's on display in case 21H. And it's where the inner chambers of the ammonite has been replaced by calcite. So it's like an internal mold of the ammonite. So if you look at it, you can see the structure of its chambers.
Wow. So, I've seen ammonites on the outside, but looking on the inside must be incredibly different.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice specimen.
Wow. So, what about the future side of things? So, how studying these really helping us kind of understand our future?
By studying this, you can try to extrapolate various earth processes. And you can also think about how resources are distributed around the world, how different geological settings and events, for example, volcanic eruptions or earthquakes, might affect us. Yeah, you can really try to map the evolution of the planet as well and try to predict what might happen in the future.
Fantastic. So, are there any particular? Obviously, you've mentioned the inside of the ammonite here, but any rare or unique minerals that you've come across, and for you, what makes it or them so special?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is a mineral called ulexite. So this is a hydrosporate mineral, and it forms in alkali salt flats. And its structure consists of fibers, and it's quite similar to fiber optics as well. So that means that if you place a slice of ulexite over a piece of writing or a photo, the writing underneath will appear to be on top of the mineral surface because the image is projected on top. And that gives it the nickname TV stone.
Oh, fantastic! So you can get your own TV out of a stone.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. So, when you're working your area of expertise, what's some of the challenges that you face?
I think probably one of the main challenges is time, really. Sometimes you feel like you don't have enough time to do everything you need to do. You have to juggle lots of different projects and priorities. But thankfully, I have a really supportive team who helps with any issues I'm having, and we can share the workload and support each other.
So, thinking about how to overcome them, obviously, teamwork and lots of project management. Is there anything else that you could think of how to overcome those challenges?
I think sitting down and looking at what you need to do and what you need to prioritize really helps as well. And also, it's always important to let people know whether you're having issues with any of the projects you need to do, so you can let them know whether you're having any problems.
So clear communication with your team as well really helps, definitely. So I've read that you're particularly interested in quartz. So what is it about that mineral that you like so much?
So quartz is my favorite because it's a really simple mineral. Its chemical formula is just SiO2. But despite that, you've got so many different varieties of quartz. It comes in all different colors of the rainbow. You've got things like smoky quartz, which is black, citrine, which is orange, and you've also got pink rose quartz as well. And it's got lots of different industrial applications too. But I think one of the facts that I really love about quartz is it's got this property called piezoelectricity. So that means that when an electrical current is passed through it, it vibrates at 32,768 hertz. So that's why quartz is used in watches, because when the current in a watch battery passes through the quartz, it vibrates at that frequency, and then the circuit in the watch counts those pulses so it can keep time.
Wow, so quartz actually keeps time?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So I've also noticed that you really enjoy fieldwork, something that geographers very much share with you as well. What does that look like when you're looking for minerals for you?
Well, that can vary really because you've got metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary minerals. So you've got lots of different environments you can go to. So, for example, with gold, sometimes that can just involve going down to the river and panning for gold in the sediments. Sometimes fieldwork might involve going into caves as well. So, while I was in Spain, in southern Spain, I went to some gypsum caves, which were really cool. So we got to crawl around underground, looking at these cave walls, which were formed of gypsum. Also, sometimes it's just as simple as looking down at your feet. So, another example during Spanish fieldwork, there's this place called El Huazo volcano, which is in Andalusia. So, this is an extinct volcano, and the rocks are made of dacite, which have crystals of garnet in them. And over millions of years, these rocks have eroded, and all the garnet crystals have come out of the rocks. So, when you're walking around this area, there are just tons and tons of garnet crystals on the ground.
Wow, it's a real magical place, that sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is a slightly different question to what I was going to ask with this, but if you could design your ultimate fieldwork for minerals, what would it be?
Oh, yeah, there's this really nice locality in Mexico called the Cave of Swords. It's in Nika. And there are these massive, several meter long crystals of selenite in there. And really, it kind of looks like Superman's Cave of Solitude. But it's a really quite a harsh environment. It's very hot underground there, so you'd need specialist equipment to go there, but it would be fun to visit that.
Wowzers, that sounds amazing. So you're celebrated as one of the women in science at the Natural History Museum. And what advice would you give other women who are interested in following a similar path to you?
I'd say don't be afraid to reach out to other women that you find inspiring. So if you see someone with a similar career path or someone you really admire, it can't hurt to reach out and ask if they would like to give you tips or possibly even mentor you as well. And I also think that should go both ways as well. So if you've got the chance, try to mentor the next generation as well or other people in your community. And also it's important to think about self-care too. So sometimes things can be stressful. So make sure you've got the time to relax and unwind, maybe relax with your friends as well, or also celebrating your wins as well and other people's wins. Try to uplift each other because that really helps with boosting morale and motivation too.
Fantastic. I think especially at the moment we're currently in the throes of finishing exams at various different levels, that's something so definitely to reflect on and being able to relax and reflect on where we've actually been and celebrate our wins. That's fantastic. So Nadine, thank you so much for your time. It's been fascinating to hear about your work and the routes that you've taken to get there. I'm delighted that geography was the subject which opened the door to your interest in mineralogy, and I look forward to seeing some of those special minerals next time I'm in the Natural History Museum. Would you like to add anything else onto this?
Yeah, I'd really love to say thank you to my mum as well. She really fostered my love of science and she really helped me along the way, and I couldn't have done it without her. So thank you, Mum.
Good, well done, Mum. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the Ask the Geographer podcast series on soundcloud.com or your preferred streaming platform. Dive deeper into the world of geography and stay informed with our wide range of resources, many of which are available for free. School membership grants access to even more resources, including online lectures and supporting materials for both teachers and learners. Explore our resources and discover our additional offers for education at www.rgs.org/schools.